So are you guys ready for our slam tonight?
Woo!
Woo!
Yes.
I was born ready. Born dilated.
You all excited too. So without further ado, let's get into our first contestant. Oh, wait. We need a sacrificial poet for tonight. So it kind of sets the mood for our poet. So we have something to fall back on. So without further ado, let's introduce our sacrificial poet for the first round. Give it up for Mike Jasso.
Don't get caught in the punchline on a night out with your boys. Liquor is supposed to bring out the best in us. We know why we are here, to unwind, to take a load off. This is a safe space to get what you need off of your chest. Go ahead and crack a joke. Our beers have made us all comedians. Look, there's the door to the bar. The barkeep is your new therapist, and he's already prepared your prescription. Just don't get caught by the punchline. Crack a smile. Shake some hands, shuffle through a handful of prepared statements. Just be ready to jump when the punchline comes. Yes, work has been crazy lately. I don't post a whole lot on Facebook these days. Sorry again to flake again. They know. They know that you know. You know that they know. You know that they will catch you in their punchlines. Replay the last night. Replay the last night that you and the boys last hung out. Remember that y'all promised to do this more often. Order a shot. Double check your bank account, then order a shot. Remind yourself that you are supposed to be having fun. Yo, Mike, how's school this day? Oh, you know. How about work? Same old. Your mouth burns. You bit the inside of your cheek before coming through the door. You'll be reminded of the sting with each shot. Fire off another round and remember that you can take a hit. Look at you. It's only the 4th round of shots and you're already punch drunk. Be ready to duck. You'll never know when you'll get caught by the punchline. Keep smiling. No one here needs to be in on this inside joke. No one needs to know that you didn't want to be in here in the first place and that you will always pose a risk, that you are walking dynamite. How selfish of you for wanting to escape your reality for just one night. Anxiety is a comedian. His greatest joke is putting you in a room full of people you love and knocks you silly through 12 rounds of whiskey. Then leaves. And then that's it. Your brain takes care of the rest. Before you can duck, the punchline has already been caught. Anxiety carries knuckles scraped by sandpaper. And you are just stone. You are here supposed to have a good time. You will wear these cuts. You will refill your prescription at the bar. You will keep cracking jokes with your boys. You see the punchline, and this time you get caught. And you pound your last shot.
Give it up for Rowan.
The warden looks down on me and says, I am your God. Sorry, I mean the psychiatrist looks down on me and says, I am your God. Sorry, I mean doctor. I mean, there is no difference in the psych ward anyway between God and psychiatrists. They both come with vengeance and lightning. I mean, what is the difference between an electric chair? I mean, an electric convulsion therapy chair. I mean, ECT. I mean, it's a wonder I'm still standing. They've run so much current through my body. I might as well be a lightning bolt. I mean, here in these gray walls, none of us are alive anymore. Here we are waiting in purgatory. We learn only to obey. You do not go to therapy here. You go to re-education. You learn to hide yourself away behind your mask of happy faces. Learn to speak softly. Learn to smile more. high-pitched voices, hyper-femininity, learn to not request basic human decency. I mean, you're crazy. So just swallow more of your pills, of your lies, of yourself. Make yourself pretty and small. Paint your face every day in smiles and mascara. Call yourself woman. Do not ask to be called anything else. Dead name yourself every day. Go to the wrong bathroom. Be the wrong person. Never ask for the decency that will save your life when you are finally free. Remember, the difference between a psych ward and a prison cell is the skin tone and the amount of money your parents have. Remember that if you were poorer, you would be in jail. Remember that if you were darker, you would be in jail. Remember that you are lucky, that you are pale and upper middle class. Remember that your psychology, bent and broken and electrified, is no more important to God than it is a psychiatrist. I mean, either way, you'll end up begging for their mercy.
Yes!
Today is a good day. I got dressed before noon, ate 3 meals today, none of which came out of a freezer or were ramen noodles, took all of my pills on time today, and I only fell over 4 times. Today is a good day because I still remember who I am, still know who I am and where I am. But tomorrow will not be a good day. I hear it even now as I stand here in front of you, the sounds of the fireworks starting my next 2 weeks of hell. Tonight, I will start the next 14 days of uncertainty. I will go to bed tonight under the bed instead of on it. I cannot lie on a mattress when the fireworks go off because I will fall off of it, twitching and spasming and panic. My panic attacks cause seizures. It's called functional neurological disorder, or FND. I call it fucking neurological disorder because it fucks up my life. I will not remember tomorrow who I am. I will not know where or when I am. I will be lost for 14 days, maybe longer. Who knows how long the amnesia will last this time? All I know is light and sound and terror and pain. The first time my father saw my dissociation was 2 years ago. We had gone to a play. They put flashing lights on and I fell out of my seat into the aisle screaming. He had to carry me out. I did not know for 6 days who or what or where I was. My father started working from home long before the coronavirus. I am not allowed to be unsupervised. How can I be? When random noises send me twitching, when flashes of light make me forget who and what I am hardly a human anymore. I am barely breathing and functional. I can feel it now. I know in a moment my legs will give out and I will not be able to stand. I can feel the drumbeat of my heart trying to beat its rabbit way out of my chest and run away from here. I don't remember what has caused me to be like this. See, that is what happens to trauma. It affects the body when the brain will not remember it. It has to find a way out somehow. And I see it out my window, the flashes, and I hear the bangs, and I know I am about to lose everything I've built to. I don't know who I am. Please, can you help me?
Okay, go.
Yeah,
Give it up for Damani.
My voyeurism kink discusses love with my fear of intimacy. In the mirror, we see Jezebel's misassigned gender, trans by intimacy, by Webster's neglect. Give us an origin story for those looking for love in all the wrong places that does not end with pinned down, in the photo, oversaturated, caramel skin mistaken for a boy from last month, come slut that swallows grief. Once, a man stole your wallet to learn your real name, said he liked when you act black, and when all was said and done still called you immature, sexy thing, an exotic first, pair of legs, chest hair, teeth, jungle fever's funnel. Intimacy chimes in, says, why can't I be a beautiful thing no one can hold? I want, but want to be left alone. My wants want more, but fall into the same traps. To ask for intimacy and find sex hidden behind a bouquet of roses. Why isn't there an English word faster than stop? My voyeurism watches. My voyeurism dissociates and takes pictures for my lonely nights. My voyeurism settles for being left unread if it means I get attention when I don't want it. I have a theory that everyone was born affection deficient and learned to love through loss. One day, we'll talk about this outside of a poem, but for now, my intimacy asks what kind of love revolves around choking, and if I come, does that also mean I like drowning? Asphyxiation is an outdated gift. My survivor's guilt helped swim the passage, a leftover from every death we escaped. See, I'm making pleasure an ancestral thing. You took my breath and I want it back. My calloused hands, a cut from every good I've let go, and every time and every name I let document spills from the open, blood drip in the form of someone's weekend. I have been left unread in 3 languages, love 2 continents, triple texted numbers that keep my shirts as cum rags, my heart as a maybe not. I love neglect. I love torture. I love fear. I love. Notice, I never named myself. After Oddity Warrior and Aaliyah Bradshaw. To the gap teeth, to the suicidal thoughts, to homophobia, to the obituary headlines I have inherited, to the men that will call you porn star before your name, to everything that has tried to kill me and failed, I am here with my mother's face, my grandfather's gap teeth, and everything my father did not name me. See, I said it, so it's true. I have no space to be called dead. In this, I do not die. I've left all the hurt at home. This is the look how far we've gotten with how little we were given. This, a gentle reminder to be gentle to yourself, the New Year's resolution, to keep moving forward even if we have to rest. I am 24 years young and cannot describe love without someone else's heart. So I'm working on that, learning to love the spaces that exist outside of someone's hands. In other words, myself. To my past self that did not know where we'd be. I hope you hear me healing. I'm stealing all the good shit back. To younger me, you will be 7 Frank Ocean songs deep and will still have crying to do. And that's okay. Crying is just the body's way of letting go what could not be said through the breath. To every prayer sent to God without a response, I am leaving you there, like a star. I know this to be true. I am enough to get everything I wished for on my own. I almost drowned in a pool once. Wish someone would pull me out, and instead my body learned to swim. My asthmatic lungs grew 2 sizes and swallowed a funeral's worth of water to save me. To my younger self, when all the bad things seep their way into your memories, and every thought is dedicated to a demon's shadow, to coercion, to every sickness, to everyone that only wanted a part of you. You are blossoming by the minute. Every hour a new petal, ode to the space you take up now. When death asks you how you know you're alive, tell him. I have names and languages I can't speak. All of them make me a dirty thing, but I am choosing to take them back. Tell them. The last person that tried to kill me was me. Tell them. You ain't got time to die. Tell them. You're too busy drowning in sunlight from a while ago. The last time your family gathered was before your little cousin was born, and separation wasn't a name we gave to his family. Tell him. You're too busy putting ancestry back together to leave now. To my younger self, it is impossible to say goodbye to someone that has loved you for a lifetime. This is why we haven't said goodbye yet. And yeah, that might change tomorrow, but you're here now. This voice and all it's breaking, these bones and their stories makes you the first Bible story, which makes you holy, worthy of amen and grandma's peppermint candies. To the gap teeth, to the names you call your own, to the fears you have conquered, you are alive. See, I said it, so it's true.
Damn.
Everybody, give it up for Kimica.
The high-pitched whine of fluorescent tubes sing their song day and night without fail. The registers accompany them in an off-key droll, each beep pushing me a little bit closer to madness. You can feel the air around you gripping tight. Drenched in sweat, you hope even for a warm breeze. Ignoring your slowly tightening skin is the only way I've found to reliably make it to the end of your shift. The AC is off in order to save money, live better. But the air is so muggy that it's like wearing a thick coat at all times. I get that we can't risk freezing the bowels of hell, but I also think that making it slightly colder couldn't hurt our profits. The repetitive loop of music just barely out of earshot, as if it was made to torture those who only know some of the words. Each song washed over by the broken yell of radios. Can we get customer assistance to photo for the umpteenth time? Time slows down in this world apart from reality. Not a clock in sight, and the light from day bleeds into the night. Never early or late, but always lacking time somehow to finish a job that has no beginning and seemingly no end. I think back to all the faces that I've known, those people who were so much better suited than me, who have left for a better place instead of running in place. Thinking about them makes me wonder how long I can last. My smile fades as I pass through the day, as I constantly put the unfolded, unhung clothes back. Some thoughtless person came by and destroyed my hard work. Fold, hang, fold, hang, fold, hang, fold, hang, 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 hang. Catharsis would come from the weirdest places. Oftentimes it came from thinking of Greek lore, heroes strong enough to roll boulders uphill both ways. But believe me, here, even Sisyphus would sigh. And after my shift is over, I'm often plagued with questions. The most prevalent being, is the customer always right? But the most important one being, without a doubt, does it become day drinking if I start at midnight?
Damn.
Woo! I love that last line. That last line was my favorite.
Trying to show the life I've created. After years of shaping it, taping it, reinforcing it, and painting it. Trying to craft the form that will finally justify me. But first, before I do that, I need to empty the dump. What's the dump, I hear you ask? Well, it's a shit place to air your laundry. It's yesterday's internet trash, the maggot-filled roadkill arguments littering the ground, the statements that people hold high like they just found gold, the statements that are brought to me to either acknowledge or, better yet, get rid of. But why climb through the mountains of refuse? Stepping through trash people swore had diamonds in it, reaching down only to grab fistfuls of broken glass. Because if I don't take the time to get rid of it, where's it gonna go? And yeah, it hurts digging through all of it. Palms bleeding from encounters with rusty nails found between the pages of an unused Bible. Water-damaged porno magazines, a warped and inky mirror. A tear-stained coffin that I'm simultaneously inside of and standing outside of looking at. All of it being cleared away piece by piece. I'm not a hoarder in any sense, so why do I find myself sitting in a palace of garbage, armed with the knowledge of broken light bulbs, cracked mirrors, and dead batteries? Because sadly, once all the junk is finally cleared away, someone always brings me more. Some stuff I've cleared away before. A continual collection of convening crapola. But my hope is that once the trash is all gone, people can finally focus on what I've created. Nothing left to distract, nothing more to explain.
Woo! Woo!
Give it up for our fifth contestant, Roxy.
Let's go, Roxy.
I think that my penis is like Groundhog Day. And when I say that, I don't mean that the film and my penis are both technically millennials. And I don't mean that because it's scared of its shadow, though it often is. When I say that my penis is like Groundhog Day, what I mean is that sometimes when I look between my legs, I feel like everything is starting over. I mean that sometimes my penis is a penis and sometimes my penis is a pussy. And though I am a fan of that plot twist, apparently when combined with these titties, that just really confuses folks. Almost as much as a marmot determining winter. When I say that my penis is like Groundhog Day, I mean, how big does my dick have to be for you to see its shadow before you see my tits? Asking for a friend. Spoiler alert, the friend's me. I mean that my pronouns from henceforth will be the first person plural we, as in the royal we, as in we. My penis, pussy, tits, and I are non-binary. And I know that's confusing because when I say that my penis is like Groundhog Day, what I mean is I don't get sad when people misgender me. Just disappointed because I have trouble believing I'm who I say I am too. What I mean is, do you think that Puxatawny Phil wants to be a spectacle or that he's just hoping to make it to spring? When I say that my penis is like Groundhog Day, what I mean is that sometimes I'm afraid I'm no more real than a shadow, a poorly defined simulacrum of a creature that I recognize less and less every day, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean that most of the time I am just a scared animal, looking out at the sheet of ice before me and behind at the cold frozen cave I have forced myself into, and I don't know which one is safer. I mean that global warming has reduced the efficacy of Groundhog Day as a predictor of spring to 39%. And the climate of the Western Hemisphere outside my cave has reduced the life expectancy of queer trans folks to 35 years, and I am 36. What I mean is, I wonder if flowers have contingency plans. When I see that my penis is like Groundhog Day, what I mean is that I would like to be more than comedy gold or a popular tourist attraction. I mean that one day we would like to be a home. As a 36-year-old queer non-binary sex worker, I get into a lot of kinky shit, professionally and recreationally. And though it is not a kink that I am into, when I think about you, I think about my parents having sex. I think about how the week that my dad died, he wrote SS on the calendar. And when I asked him about it, he smiled and said, stood for super sex. I think about my father, his body riddled with cancer, his lungs so full of blood and fluid, we had to drain his chest daily. This once giant, now frail old man full of chemo and with his kidneys failing, loved my mother so much, his own imminent death couldn't stop him from eating my mom's pussy. And when I think about you, and if I was dying tomorrow, I know, just like he did, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you'd be the last thing I would want on my lips. Now, according to Google, for the average man, it takes 88 days to fall in love. And for the average woman, it takes 143. There's no information given for non-binary folks because #transphobia, but maybe it's also because we are made to believe we are so unlovable, fundamentally taught to take whatever someone is willing to give us, that we fall in love with the first person who doesn't hit us, or at least doesn't leave marks, or at least I did. Until I didn't. Turns out, convincing ourselves we aren't worthy of our dreams is not the same thing as growth. And you are a dream I didn't know I told myself I wasn't allowed to have. I have known you for 22 days, and I am mostly sure that I have loved you for 19. And for once, I don't think I'm lying to either of us. When I asked my father how he knew my mother was the one for him, I expected a modest diatribe on his unending love for her, some shit about hearing a symphony or an angelic chorus descending from the heavens. What he said was, your mother and I are both very physical people, and our first date lasted 3 days. You do the math. Unsatisfied, when I pushed him further, he said, look, we're not perfect people. We fucked up a lot, but things just kept panning out, and I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, so here we are 36 years later, and shit's still panning out. You are nothing I planned for, but everything I could have ever wanted, never believed I could have. And right now, my greatest hope is just that shit keeps panning out.
Give it up for Caleb.
I'm so tired of spitting the same poem. The one where he dies, the one where he's tombstone, the one where he chose death over me, the one where I feel like he chose death over me, the one where I wake up every single night with scratch marks on my pillow where I tried to drag him back to this earth. So today, I will spit his poem in reverse. The crowd moonwalks back to their car. 2012 to 1979 is uncarved from his tombstone. The crowd moonwalks back to their car. His father's threats are Mustangs stampeding back inside of his mouth, says, if I show up to his funeral, they will bury me. This wasn't really a threat. I wanted to be buried with his body. All they had was his body. Ronnie rises from the grave. 6 feet under, becomes 6 feet tall. He was alive, becomes he is alive. He touches me. He says that he loves me. He says that he will love me until the day that he dies. This isn't really fair. I always thought he meant for longer. The bullet exits his temple. It enters the gun. The razor erases the marks on his wrist. He spits the pill back into the bottle. His father's words are Mustangs stampeding again and again and again. Ronnie spent his whole life acting out on a script that he knew he'd be cut from. Every day he fought a war just to exist, and everywhere was a battlefield, and loving me was a revolution. His father, unasked who touched him, who made him gay. Homosexuals Anonymous, his third attempt, his second, his first. His father says there is love in his heart, but I say there is blood on his hands. Hometown, high school, bullied in class, avoid school, shoved in locker, never pushed off the bleachers, down the stairs, pushed too far. The word faggot is unscrawled from his yearbook picture. Rock unhits his window, fist swims away from his jaw. Middle school, bruised face disappears, told boys will be boys. It's not really assault unless you're over 18. How he learned being called any part of the woman was the greatest of insult. His father is not afraid to hug him. He's one. He puts the Barbie down. He is born. His parents look through the window, and when they see his face, all they want is for their son to be happy. And when they see his face, all they see is potential.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm literally crying.
My poem was a flower. I was just a seed when the gardening shear of a boy cut my body. planted weeds around my mind until I became a weed myself, going in places that I did not belong. I battled a demon on that stage, wrote a poem about how this world is always trying a new way to take my body. Afterwards, I hear a poet say that I was just another rape poem. I was just a cliche. To those who call me cliche, call me familiar, unoriginal, say you heard my story 1,000 times, but ignore the fact that 1,000 people you know have the same story, I have a few questions. What's more cliche than my rape poem? Being told it didn't happen, being asked what I drank, being told men can't be raped. Are you sure this wasn't just a little misunderstanding? What's more cliche than my gay poem? Not doing well at a slam because of it. The golf claps and low scores, being told you shouldn't do poems about your sexuality. You don't want to make some people feel uncomfortable. And just so you know, I have 15 more gay poems coming, 5 more rape poems coming, and I will stop writing gay poems when people stop using our bodies as target practice in nightclubs. And I will stop writing rape poems as a reminder that if Jesus needs permission to enter my body, then so do you. So fuck you. I didn't write this poem. This poem wrote itself. And I have 10 more coming. I have two more rape poems for every person who touched my body without my consent. And if you want to call my real life stories cliche, I hope you drown in a sea of them. I hope they keep you awake at night until we are heard. So let these cliches be our new anthems. Poets standing in front of a microphone or on Zoom, spitting a poem about the things that tried to kill us over and over until we are heard. It's a poet and a story and a 7.5 and not giving a fuck. Every heartbeat a fuck you to every person who ever tried to stop it. So call our poems repetitive like a heartbeat that won't stop when the world tries to destroy it. Call us monotonous like a war drum, like a battle cry, like rising again and again and again. And if they ever call your poem a cliche, tell them thank you, because that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
Had some wonderful poets so far. Our sixth poet, our sixth contestant of the evening. Give it up for Alder.
People say love makes hearts grow fonder. But with hate, bittersweet will take on a new meaning. You will remember the bear. You will love the bear. You will let it eat you. Since that is what the bear told you to do, you shouldn't have let me in, the bear will say. You will love the bear. You will feel its jaws wrap around your body. It will swallow you whole, only to make you feel as though you should have chewed yourself into bits to make the bear's life easier. You will love the bear. The bear will introduce your coughed up bones to your new brother. The cub will chew the bones. If the bones move, he will complain if they talk. He will complain, so sun bleach yourself so your mouth will sizzle shut. The bear will remind you to look at the floor when someone is speaking to you. He will remind you that bears are better than bones, that bones should only speak when spoken to. You will love the bear. The bear will not love you. That means you have to make enough love for the two of you. You do not need to love bears any longer. As I get older, I understand movies more. This makes it easy to rewatch my favorite movies and look for things to talk about. Like in the first half of every Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man gets his ass handed to him. I've been crying myself to sleep the last few nights. Sometimes I don't sleep at all. If I shut my eyes tight enough, clench my jaw hard enough, and hope to whatever fucked up God might be out there enough, the lights will sway. I can't stop writing about those kinds of apologies. The world is ending. This poem is about death. This poem isn't about you or a double-edged sword, another bent and rusted nail. I'm scared of my friends. I'm scared my friends won't make it out. You aren't a friend. You still scare me. The world has grown dark. Or maybe it just jolted awake. I won't sleep now. There are too many things to do that are a better waste of time. Weekdays blend. I wonder absent-mindedly when we will forget the names of the months, or if we will forget those of our fathers first.